Hi, my dear Sagittarius friends. So here is your yearly forecast for 2022. I hope you will enjoy it. If you do so, you know what to do. Press like, subscribe to the channel, as well as share the content with others. I'll try to bring unique contents. And if you would like to learn astrology with me, then go on my website, AstroViktor.com, and you will be able to find webinars there. There is also a subscription plan for the loyal friends, and I will be giving you free lectures a month for a lot less money than an individual webinar. So, but if you just would like to get weekly insights, then I also post those on my website too, underneath the subscription plan. So 2022, there are plenty of exciting things for you because we are going to be having your ruler of the rising sign entering Aries in the middle of the year. But beforehand, it's going to be making a conjunction to Neptune. So that's definitely something which is very positive for you. Now, I did make 4 intense videos about the energies of 2022. I recommend listening to those. And you also want to be listening to your sun and moon sign as well, because the sun will be describing something to do with your career, vocation, as well as your life purpose. Moon can represent something around your emotional well-being and family matters. But foremost, this video is based on your rising sign. So let's get started. I mean, Jupiter has been in and out of Aquarius, so it already gave you a little bit of a glimpse of what to expect once Jupiter goes into your 4th house, which is the Piscean house cusp. But it will be actually moving in at the end of the year, and it's going to be there till middle of May. So Jupiter is all about expansion. So it's about expanding your home life. So maybe some of you will be thinking about, yes, I want to be buying a property, or I want to be extending my property, and maybe I want to be building a top floor, right? Or it might be expansion in a sense that, you know what, we want to be having a child. And actually, I think that might be one of the biggest topic of the year for Sagittarius rising sign, that the kids somehow become a focal point in your life for multiple reasons. I mean, Jupiter transits the 4th and then transiting the 5th house. Those are all about family nest type of energies. But at the same time, Mars will be going retrograde in the sign of Gemini as well. It will enter the sign of Gemini on 20th of August and will remain there till 2023 March. And of course, that's a relationship house. Now, in many cases, when the 4th, 5th, and the 7th house get activated, somehow children and relocation becomes a huge topic. So with Jupiter in the 4th house till May, it's very possible that we enjoy being at home, or we want to be making our home life a little bit more cozy or larger overall. Or maybe because there is a new baby coming, we just need to have a bigger apartment. It's not enough anymore. So that's actually very possible. Somehow your home life and the family life is on the forefront for you, especially in the first 5 months of the year. It could also be possible that you want to be moving houses. Now, that typically happens if, let's say, Jupiter comes from your 9th house, for instance, natally. That's actually very possible. Or because in your case, actually Leo rules the Leo rules the 9th house. So once Mars is in the 7th, and then it's going to be when Mars is in the 7th and it's going to be opposing your sun, basically, from August onwards, actually, it might be giving you the urge, yes, we want to be moving. So moving is on the horizon for you as well. Now, also, from a negative perspective, Jupiter can actually indicate that you go a lot more inwards. And there will be this conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune starting in April 2022, which is all about dreaming big. But it also can be the fact that we are following something blindly. So Neptune is all about escapism. So we can go too much inward emotionally and spiritually as well, and then kind of like not being interested in life anymore. So just be mindful about it. But the good news is once Jupiter goes into the 5th house, probably that kind of life, the energy comes back, and then I want to be socializing a lot more. You can actually you can go overboard with your home expansion or some type of home project. You can actually overspend with real estate as well. So you definitely want to be paying attention to that. 4th house is something to do with your safety net, security. So I just want to be feeling a lot more secure. But it also is something to do with your ancestry. So how far can I go back? And then you can become a little bit obsessed, especially around the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, with looking at your family histories a little bit. So being interested in the background is actually very possible. I think because significantly your emotional houses will be triggered this year, the 4th, 12th, and the 6th house. Therefore, digging deep to check out, some of the emotional roots of your existence might be very beneficial for you this time around. The reason why the 12th and the 6th house will get activated for you this year also, because the nodes will be shifting into your 6th and 12th house. So, but we're going to be speaking about that shortly. Now, if you don't necessarily feel secure at the moment in your life, then Jupiter actually can magnify that. So you might start questioning your long-term stability. You might start questioning, am I actually living at the right place? Am I living in the right country? Does the country serve my needs? And those could be actually a focal point, especially I would say from August 2022 onwards, when I want to be relocating, when I want to be, just changing my place of living overall. Now, as I mentioned, this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction happening also in your 4th house. The reason why it's quite unique is because the very last time these two planets conjuncted was in 1856. So, and of course, it's kind of like a lifetime opportunity. So look at it this way. If you want to be purchasing a home and then you don't necessarily know what to do because maybe the property prices are expensive or stuff like that, this Neptune-Jupiter can tell you actually that, you know what, it's a lifetime opportunity. So we do need to be considering that. It might be a lifetime opportunity when it comes to things like, okay, I'm going to be, relocating because God knows when I can do that next. So that's very active for you, I would say 2022, April and May time. Now, from the beginning of the year, basically Venus will be going retrograde. And that's going to be happening on 19th of December, 2021, and it happens in your 2nd house. Now, you do need to remember Venus rules your 6th house and your 11th house. So somehow money, self-worth, and what we eat comes to the forefront. So let's start with the money aspect with that Venus. Now, this retrograde period is important for us because at the end of the day, it's all about a 4-month transit. Right, so Venus spending 4 months in one sign is something unique. It rarely happens. It only happens every 18 months. So therefore, this becomes a focal point for you this year. And the 2nd house is about how I make money. It also somehow unlocking one of your talents when it comes to financial matters, or unlocking a talent which I can turn into money. Especially because Jupiter is in your 5th house, which is your creative expression from May onwards. Jupiter will be in the sign of Aries, but we will be speaking about that shortly. So Venus ruling your 11th house, this is something to do with your earnings. So this period could be that, you know, I'm looking at my long-term plans, how much money I have made so far, how much money I have got in the bank, and maybe I'm not so satisfied with that. Or I might be looking at my salary and, you know, I kind of believe that it's time to ask for a pay rise. Then you might want to be actually reevaluating your plans during Venus retrograde. And then doing that once the beginning of the year starts, so sometimes actually around beginning of February, you know what, I know that I've got all what it takes to get pay rise, so I'm going to be speaking to my boss about that. But also from a lifestyle perspective, second house also rules the eat. Now, Venus likes getting comfortable, but it's in the sign of Capricorn, which says we can eat, no problem, but we just need to be looking at the portion. So it's about quality over quantity and portion control. It might be actually important for you because the North Node, which is going to be ruled by Venus this year, right? So that's going to be in your 6th house. So therefore, something to do with making changes in your lifestyle or making changes in your routine might become very important. Now, actually, the North Node in the 6th house means that you have got the South Node in the 12th house. So the North Node actually can give you a chance to find your path, what you want to be doing, something to do with something which might corresponding a lot more with your destiny or with your potential. And that Venus retrograde at the beginning of the year wants you to look at your talents. What am I good at? What can I make money out of? Because with the North Node in the 6th house, sometimes we can actually burn out. We might be doing a job for a very long time, and, you know, I just get tired of that. And also Venus rules your 11th house, which is about your long-term goals, the ability to earn your earning abilities in a sense. So I feel like this North Node might bring a significant changes in your lifestyle. How I eat, maybe I want to be losing weight, maybe I want to do some calorie count, maybe I want to be changing work. But of course, it means that the South Node is in the 12th house. So meaning that we do need to let go of something, and typically about our inner monsters, those little monsters underneath the bed, which is actually whispering into our ears, oh, you are not good enough, or this and that. And, you know, Venus in retrograde at the beginning of the year actually wants you to look at your self-worth. Why am I doubting myself? So this is going to be very important for you, not just in January, February, and March, but I think in the entire year, letting go of some type of obsessions, looking at your approach to life. And do not forget, you've got Sagittarius rising sign. You must have faith in yourself. You must portray some type of optimism overall. So the North Node in your 6th house can actually make you a lot more analytic. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, because it is not necessarily something which is aligned with your rising sign. Your rising sign just doesn't want to analyze situations. But the North Node says that this time around, we do need to learn a little bit more responsibility, and we need to become a little bit more analytical as well. So just be mindful about that. Now, of course, the 6th house is also about health. So, you know, I don't wish to be the black crow, bringing some type of bad news, but in a way, you're going to have to watch out for your body. So again, the work question comes up here. Do I enjoy my work, or do I feel burned out? Do I have got any type of fears which I need to clear? Do I need to show a pure faith in some higher powers? And And of course, this topic will become very significant for you because there will be this Uranus and North Node conjunction happening with Urania, which is an asteroid in your 6th house, sometimes in 2022 July. So therefore, changing jobs, wanting to do something different, getting out of your comfort zone, or even starting a new health regime might become very important for you in 2022, July onwards. Actually, North Node can unlock the desire to live a lot healthier as well. So you might become a lot more interested in diet, exercise, and it might be just coming out of the blue with the Uranian conjunction. So do something which is affecting your body very positively, and I think you should be very fine. Now, of course, the South Node in the 12th house might tell you that this year it's not all about just spiritual knowledge. So it might be how I'm going to be turning my spiritual knowledge into, for instance, a profession or into practical matters, because the 6th house is something to do with testing what I have learned so far. So if you have been studying for a while, then actually this could talk about, you know what, I am going to start testing what I've learned, and I'm going to be implying that into my everyday life. It's a little bit less like focusing on your, past lives or focusing on karma, but staying in the reality. But definitely the South Node can bring stuff to the surface or make you aware of any type of illusions you have been living in. So it might be asking the question, have you been living in a bubble? Have you got those hidden voices which are, kind of prompting you to not to pursue some of your ideas? So actually that would be very important for you this year. Now, the next one, because this node is ruled by Venus and Mars. So Venus is starting its retrograde period, as I mentioned, at the beginning of the year. But Mars retrograde will be starting from 20th of August. So that might be a very important period for you because it's going to last for 6 months. And Mars will be doing that in your 7th house. So if you are single, that Mars can give you so much energy to kind of start dating with others. Or you might feel that, you know what, I need to put a lot more energy into my personal relationships, or I want to be pursuing the relationships, or I want to kind of like having this new foundation in the relationship, which brings a little bit of an excitement in that. So it might be that, I'm going to be initiating, even if I'm a woman, for instance, no problem. I'm going to take the leadership into my hand and I'm going to be finding someone for myself. But it's also very good for business partnerships too, especially because Jupiter is going to be entering your 5th house, which is all about self-employment. So self-employment, but maybe in collaboration with others. And of course, Jupiter and Mars will be actually sextiling each other for a little while. And that's probably going to be happening. Well, almost there is going to be a sextile happening, but that in the end, it's not going to happen. But it is still giving us the opportunity to initiate something, especially, I would say, around July onwards. Okay. Now, Mars can bring legal matters on the forefront as well. So just be mindful about that. If you have got anything going on like paperwork and documents, you might want to be connecting with a lawyer, for instance, making sure that the lawyer is doing a good job. Now, Mars in your 7th house, from a negative perspective, unfortunately can bring misunderstandings and arguments with your spouse or partner. Mars is a very hot planet, so we can become we can have this sharp tongue. We don't necessarily consider what we say. especially from August till about beginning of October. And then after we start thinking about, oh, what have I done once it goes retrograde? Okay. Or you might feel that your partner wants to be controlling you, or your partner is kind of mentally poking you. But probably they do that because they want something you to achieve, right? And Mars rules your 12th house. So it could actually talk about that I've got some type of obsessive nature going on in my relationship. So maybe something to do with jealousy. And then I act first and then I think later. And of course, it can bring up some issues within the relationship. With Mars in the 7th, it's also very possible that I've got this me first attitude. And that could lead to some type of trouble. And the South Node in the 7th house tells you that you're going to have to let go of. The very negative manifestation of Mars in the 7th, ruling your 12th house, is actually a divorce or a breakup. And I want to be actually initiating a new relationship. So Mars will be very active in your chart in the upcoming 1 year. I would say that if any type of issues are occurring, that's probably going to be happening once Mars is already in the sign of Pisces, and that is again around April and May. So watch out what happens in April and May, because of course, Mars will be having this T-square with your descendant and the ascendant. And that's very much about wanting to start something. Maybe I want to be starting a family and my partner doesn't feel ready for it. Of course, it really depends on your personal chart as well. Let me just put it that way. But, you know, that's another possibility. Now, starting a family, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is actually possible because Jupiter, sometimes in the middle of May, will be actually spending about 5 months. It will be spending a few months in your 5th house when it goes into Aries, and it's conjuncting Chiron as well. So this is a period of time on one hand when I need to be focusing on my self-expression. Now, it's good, but it's bad at the same time as well. Bad from a relationship perspective because basically I tend to be wearing my heart on my sleeves, or I just want to be saying out loud what I really think. So if you don't get what you want in the relationship, that could be a challenging time because you are going to be telling your partner, listen, this is what I would like. I don't enjoy sex anymore. We need to try something new. But from a positive perspective, it's definitely, especially if you are single, it brings romance back into your life. So you might enjoy parties. You might like social gatherings and the meeting of people for some type of games, and you can become a lot more flirtatious as well. It's kind of like kissing frogs before one turns into a prince. So that's why I like that's why I like Jupiter in the 5th and then eventually Mars in your 7th house, because those who are single, very possible that they are going to be having a life partner coming into their life. But that Jupiter also talks about that you have to enjoy life. You have to do something about it. You have to try your luck. Look at it as a game, right? And, I have to be probing, testing the water. It's in the sign of Aries, which is all about initiation. Probably once Jupiter meets Chiron, it can really talk about, you know what, I have to be healing, why I have lost my mojo, why I'm not initiating certain things in my life. I think it's also very possible that you get noticed for your creative work. So you can get an award for that. Because Jupiter rules your 1st house. So somehow my body gets noticed. My approach to life gets noticed by others also. Investments, taking risks in your life can be also very beneficial once Jupiter is in the sign of Aries in your 5th house. Just watch out for the Chiron transit because we can overgo with that. We can become overly confident. when it comes to gambling and speculations, or we get involved emotionally or romantically with others. And I'm going to believe that, yes, this is the life partner of my life, and we become too enthusiastic about it. So there is a little bit of a danger with that. So if there is anything to clear out, I recommend doing that sometimes from May onwards. Around self-confidence. And then once we feel confident, then let's go, because that Chiron cannot actually hurt anymore. Also, you've got North Node in your sixth house. Jupiter enters your fifth house. So maybe sport becomes somehow, or any type of other physical activity becomes actually important to you. So if you want to start, you know, anything changes around your eating habits, losing weight, you can start thinking about that, because Jupiter might actually gives you pleasure when it comes to doing a certain element of sport. And with Aries, it might be about jogging. It might be about running, jogging, or it might be just about team sports. Even though Aries is not necessarily about team spirit, but your rising sign does like doing things in team, or at least getting other people involved in those type of things. So overall, I do believe this is a very positive year for you. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of dates, which I think you might want to be watching out for. Now, I looked at the ingress chart of the sun into the sign of Sagittarius, and well, Mars will be opposing you almost the entire year, especially if your sun is between 8 to 25 degrees. So therefore, you might want to be looking at what sun rules in your chart. So this is for the sun sign. So it's hard to determine what it might mean, but actually the sun opposing Mars is very much about something to do with vitality. So do I feel actually strong enough? It might actually give you the drive to achieve something, to step on the road which you think you should be stepping on, right? From a ascendant point of view, you know, you do need to remember that Mars rules your 12th house on one hand, but on the other hand, it rules your 5th house too. So, and it's especially true if your ascendant is going to be between 8 to 25 degrees. So what do I need to actually embrace in regards to the 5th and the 12th house matters? But we kind of spoke about that already. So Sun-Mars opposition is all about you know, all about sudden changes of plans, or it could bring actually chaotic type of things into our life as well. Or I just don't feel strong enough to achieve something. And you're going to have to start questioning yourself why that is. Sun opposite Mars is, you know, I feel like everyone is wanting to be influencing me, and I can't really express who I am. So I kind of feel frustrated. I kind of feel irritated with others. Even it could talk about ego clashes as well. Of course, opposition talk about relationship matters, so it could bring plenty of frictions in relationship with your bosses or authority figures or even government. Watch out for your temper this year, because it can be a little bit, you know, a little bit too much. But it does give increased vitality and drive. Maybe we are hitting some type of walls, but you might become a little bit of a go-getter. So again, it's very good for physical activities, and also it's very good for sex life. Sex life might get a boost, especially once Jupiter moves into your 5th house. So this is an exciting year for you, dear Sagittarian friends. So I hope you like this video, and I wish you all the best for 2022. Take care of yourself and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.